All right, and my last pick is going to be the discovery of fire by cavemen. This is, this is going way back there. And yes, most of the tweets would probably just be like, ooga booga.
Not only are they cavemen, but they're ghosts.
Or babies.
Or babies. They're baby ghosts.
And sort of similar to the Gravity pick, I don't know how they have smartphones and social media, but they haven't yet discovered fire. But again, does one necessarily lead to the other? I don't know. We don't know. It's just history.
Yes, this one deliberately does. This one absolutely does. They don't have fire before they have electricity.
It does take me back to think about Newton with the cell phone and editing without gravity.
Or no, it's
like they would create like a how-to video on YouTube of like how to make fire, and it would be like the most watched YouTube video of all time.
But I think so. On that point,
kind of by definition,
I have been, and today specifically watching a lot of like how-to videos at work today about like construction stuff. So there's also going to be there's going to be some really good like minute and a half how-to videos, and then a lot of really bad 10-minute videos that never actually show you what you need to, but you watch the whole thing.
Well, it's for the algorithm.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you need that watch time. There's going to be some really good ones and some really bad ones.
I also feel like people would see the video and then they would like post a bunch of fire emojis, and then they would be like, "Oh, that's what that's about."
I hate that.
There's so many things wrong with so much of this. I love it. It's great.
I'm just imagining like the influencers doing the blind ranking of like the top 10 coolest things to do with fire. Now that fire's discovered, like here's all this cool shit you could do with it.
Yeah, but it would launch influencers. Influencers would get to be a thing.
Yeah.
That actually kind of makes it a worse pick for me. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Again, I'm imagining this with like the worst people the influencers using this. All right. My last pick isn't an actual like specific date or event that we can point to, but it's people trying like mushrooms or any type of hallucinogen for the first time and just kind of like seeing that progress. Like someone's like, "Oh, I'm kind of hungry. Here's this mushroom I'm going to eat." And then it's like someone's videotaping and like, "Dude, my friend's going crazy." And then like just kind of watching that devolve. It's kind of like Project X, just like a video of that going down for the first time and everyone being like, "What's wrong with these two people? Like, why are they going crazy?" So
we're just assuming that they didn't just like rip their skin off and like attack each other. This is like a fun
This is like a fun trip. Correct.
This is like the first person to ever do it, not like just someone's first time.
Correct. Like literally the first person to ever. Well, I keep doing that. First person to ever do it.
You're so excited. You're just the most excited you've ever been.
This is a very middle of the road pick because I feel like I've seen it in enough movies. Like I feel like watching people trip is not really that enjoyable at the end of it. But
that's true.
I would maybe like the first person's tweets themselves. I don't know. I don't hate it.
It's more so like nobody knowing what's going on, like them, like because you're like, "Oh, that person's tripping," and you understand that. It's more so like everybody, like at that point, people are just raw dogging life.
That's true. It is, because we do get really annoyed if you're sober and you're watching somebody get super fucked up. You're like, this sucks. This person's so stupid. But if you don't know what's happening to them, and let's say we're getting rid of all of our desire to like help this person,
correct,
it'd probably be pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I think of it of like when you're first in high school and you're first drinking, like it's hilarious when someone gets like hammered. You're like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." Like he's so drunk. Now you're just like, Jesus Christ, get a hold of yourself. So that's kind of what,
like be an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I see it. I like where you're going with this idea. I just feel like there's something not totally clicking for me, because I agree with you, Thomas. Like it would be fun to watch for a while, for a little bit, maybe for a few seconds.
For like a fine.
But I feel like
to bring back Vine. Vine would be at its absolute peak.
It's more about like if you could get into their head, but that could be true to this day. It has nothing to do with social media, really. So I like where you're going. I just feel like come back to us in a week or two with the idea,
fully fleshed out idea,
redefine it. Let's just say this.
All right, Sharks.
I'm glad this is your last pick. If it was earlier, I'd have questions.
There was 5 I was choosing from, and I was trying to be the one that I thought would be the most creative. It didn't land, and that's okay. That's what 5th picks are for.
I think it's a good pick. I like that you went in a direction of not a specific historical event, which has been either the vast majority of these or all of these. You went just something very, very general that would probably in the moment be hilarious to a lot of people.
It's like your best friend. You're like, that guy, what's going on with him?
I tell you now, it's no Isaac Newton Apple,
Well, yeah, I mean, they can't all be Isaac Newton Apple.
They can't all be Isaac Newton and the Apple.
Considering I got to imagine the first hallucinogenic, the first mushroom, whatever it is, was so long ago. I think it would be a lot of Ooga Booga tweets also.
So. Probably true.
Those ghost babies, man, they're getting after it. I said that I wasn't going to do anything sports related, but because I lost my Apollo 11 early on, I had to make some quick changes to this list. So there is a sports one on this, and this is just pre-internet and social media. It's Jordan's first retirement. What the fuck would the takes have been if every single person could have had their takes at the same time? Sports media back then, so we like to like kind of glorify what sports media used to be like, but it always had elements of hot takes. This would have jumped us 15 years ahead in terms of like hot take media, and every single person would have been like, what the fuck is going on? Is basketball gonna die? Like every really, really boring take we hear today, we would hear it for the first time then. You'd also get all the people that are like, yeah, we always knew that Magic and Bird were better, or like, Kareem's always going to be the number one, or whatever it might be. It's not the criminal excess of O'Shea Simpson, but it would lead to a ton of conspiracy theories because we know that it did anyways.
Because those exist, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm imagining this going down like LeBron's The Decision, and like it's just like everybody just hating him and coming up with like he was a fraud, like he won 3 straight, he didn't have like the same heart that Magic and Bird did. It's like the worst type of NBA Twitter are like having the takes on Michael Jordan.
I mean, remember Andrew Luck's retirement and everybody being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And now make that the biggest athlete on earth at the time, at the height of his powers.
Yeah, 3 straight.
Coming off of 3 titles, coming off of a 3-peat, and then being like, yeah, I'm done with the sport. People would be like, has his family been kidnapped? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, not to bring this back up, Andrew, but imagine Patrick Mahomes winning the last Super Bowl and then retiring. Like that's literally the equivalent of that being. But even Mahomes wasn't as big of an athlete that Jordan was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Andrew would love to imagine that.
Yeah, I actually did think about like having Jordan's career, Bulls career in general, and because I steered clear of it because I like my other picks, but also because like I don't know if I would have done. Do you think that the first retirement would be the biggest social media buzz, or would be his like return, or like winning the return, winning the second 3-peat? You know, like I don't know.
I did think about the return a little bit because the return is like a hugely publicized thing where he basically sent a fax saying I'm back. And it did become this massive media story. I don't know really what makes one better than the other. I think probably just because one is more, it leads itself more to more like conspiracy theories, whereas the other one, they talked about it on TV constantly because he was playing again. You could talk about it the rest of his career. I think it's a little bit different to talk about somebody's career while it's ongoing rather than talk about it when it's like, oh my God, it's over. Like he's 28 years old and it's done. Like we thought we had another decade of Jordan. It's all just over.
I actually think the best part of his career to be on social media would be when he played baseball, because then like the people are saying like, this is your
Jordan
GOAT, and it's him. Yeah, and it's him striking out in baseball. I think that would be the funniest part of.
If I had to pick a time period for social media in the 90s for Jordan, it would be from people in the movie theater who went to see Space Jam, but didn't know what Space Jam was about before going in. Like they just went in
space movie.
They went in blind and they were like live tweeting it.
Yeah. I want to
thinking it's going to be like a basketball movie, and then the Looney Tunes appear on screen.
I want to make an amendment for the night that Andrew gets 6 picks, and that's his 6.
You can have a bonus pick. That's fine. Can I get the Apollo 11 landing as my 6th pick? Okay.
This doesn't necessarily excite me as a pick. I totally get why you would pick it, and I could picture it to an extent. And you're right though, like it is one of those things where like the takes is what you're really getting from social media of it. Like people wouldn't shut the hell up.
Yeah. OG Twitter would be incredible about it, and current Twitter would be horrendous about it.
The last thing I'll say on this is that I am curious because like LeBron obviously gets so much hate, and a lot of that is due to the comparisons to Jordan. I wonder if social media was more of a thing in the 90s, if Jordan wouldn't be quite as like deified.
He wouldn't be,
because he would have haters like throughout the time that were like very public voices being like a Magic and Bird are better and stuff. And like that existed to a degree, but it just kind of like fell by the wayside, and like everyone was sort of aligned that Michael Jordan was the best ever. I wonder if there'd be more detractors if there was live social media.
Does his career pan out the exact same way?
Yes.
Or are there too many distractions?
I think he would probably have. I think he'd probably have more detractors, regardless, but he might even have more fans. Like he might have been an even bigger global icon. And basketball might be in even more countries now than it was then.
And the fact that he has more detractors might mean that he plays even better because he took that personally. So it's kind of crazy.
Or then maybe he never retires.
Or he has more
if he's reading social media every day, he might never retire. Because who's to say how much those, couple years off saved his legs and led. We don't need to talk about Jordan too much.
I think he has more distractions like Twitter, Instagram, Grindr, Snapchat, and he doesn't focus on the game.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Chicago White Sox Jordan was huge on Grindr.
I believe it.
Wasn't grinding on the field, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Grinding off the field.
All right, 20th pick of the draft. That's for you, Griffin.
Fuck up.
This was not originally on my radar, and I don't really mean to dive into the same well twice, but I don't like the other picks I have written down. And I'm struggling. I'm just going to say it, and then I'm going to describe it a bit.
That's how these work.
To follow the Trojan horse, I'm going to go with the Odyssey. And there are two ways I think about this. Is either someone not important on the boat with Odysseus, just constantly tweeting like, this motherfucker's got stuck on another island. This motherfucker pissed off another god. I'm never going to get home. Jimmy just died.
Just live tweeting through it all?
Yeah. The other way to think about it is that, like, Homer, who's telling the story, someone else, like, he's telling it on social media, and people are just, like, commenting, that's not what happened. You're a liar. You weren't even there. Hashtag Odysseus for life. Or, like, hashtag I love Penelope. She should marry me. Like, that's
big Odyssey guy.
Big Odyssey guy tonight. That's what I want to see.
So are we following the story, or are we following Homer writing the story?
It seems like we're following all of it.
Part of it is someone on the ships being like tweeting about like the way people tweet about their bosses. And like if Odysseus ever sees it, he'd be like, hey, Steve, can I talk to you in my office? Which is just like the other side of the ship.
Is this the same Steve from Adam and Steve, or is this a different Steve?
No comment.
Hey, all right. Grindr's making its comeback.
And then I would just like, and then part of it would also be like all the suitors trying to get with Penelope, Odysseus' wife, could be like shit talking him, and like, and they could be gathering a following. Like, see, Odysseus doesn't even care about you. He ain't coming back. I just think there's a lot of levels here.
Do we think Odysseus makes it home a lot quicker if he sees Penelope's IG feed and sees how many dudes are like taking her out to dinner and shit? He's like, we're skipping so many islands. Yeah. They're not calling it the Odyssey. They're just calling it like a Tale of Revenge or something like that.
I think
he's beelining for the Greece coast.
He's spending the whole time DMing the suitors like, I'm coming for you. Stay away from my girl.
Or like, much like the gritty tweet that we've already brought up before. The people with one eye open tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, very Odyssey heavy episode. For, again, a fictional event, something that did not happen, but I like it.
It's a noun. It's a noun.
I actually do like
it.
It
is a noun.
I think the Odyssey official Instagram account could be a fun like travel blog.
Travel blog?
Yeah.
That's a good take.
Yeah. All right. No, this is a good pick. I appreciate the pick. Recap, Andrew.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to remember your order.
No, I got it. Yeah, so my picks are, do I have to say which number pick? Like 1, 6?
Nah, just say your picks. I don't love that you get a 6, but yeah, just do yours.
Well, I'm saying like Thomas's, 20th pick and whatever. Okay, point is, number 1, moon landing in 1969. Number 2, Moses bringing down the 10 commandments from the mountain. Number 3, the time period of prohibition in the U.S. Number 4, the Wright brothers' first successful flight. And number 5, the discovery of fire.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. My number 1, the O.J. White Ford Bronco car chase, police chase. Number 2, Miracle on Ice. Number 3, the Boston Tea Party. Number 4 was Newton getting hit in the head with an apple. And number 5 is the first person to take mushrooms or like any sort of hallucinogen.
Hell yeah. My number 1, the sinking of the Titanic. My number 2, the Great Emu War of 1932. Not to be confused with any other great emu wars. And number 3, Alexander the Great and his conquering, both in the bedroom and on the battlefield. Number 4, the Wall Street crash of 1929. And number 5, Jordan's first retirement in, I want to say, 1993.
You're making me feel like there's another emu war coming.
I don't want to rule it out. I mean, look, they're 1-0 against us. They're undefeated. At some point, we got to get that 0 out of our ledger.
Number 1, 4th pick of the draft. Jesus live tweeting his 3 days in the tomb. 5th pick of the draft, my number 2, is someone Instagram posting from inside the Trojan horse and ruining it. Number 3 would be Paul Revere just tweeting the British are coming, or posting in general. My number 4 is Adam and Eve, just to see what was going on. Just curious. And then number 5 is the Odyssey, because it'd be funny.
I don't want to make this the all gay episode, but if they don't know, I don't know what Paul Revere's sexual proclivities were, but if he tweets the British are coming, a decent number of people are going to misconstrue what that means.
Spelling is very key.
Spelling is super key.
All right.
If he's doing text-to-speech, things are going to get dicey.
What stuff did you guys have that ended up not getting taken? A couple, so I can go if you're not ready.
Go.
The other sports one I had was Malice at the Palace. That just would have been crazy on social media, but I don't want to have that many sports things. I had Watergate.
Hey, can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Malice at the Palace was like 03?
04, I think.
I mean, we would have had like Zanga.
MySpace, I don't know. 04. I think MySpace was like maybe
you Zang that event.
Yeah, we could have Zanga live blogged about that one. It's a good one.
Yeah, that one would have been crazy.
I wrote about that on Neopets.
I named my Neopet after that one.
Yeah, Ron Artest. Shit.
Good. What else do you have, Mudda? Any others?
I had Watergate, but I don't know how funny that would have. Like, I don't know if I could have explained that well enough in a funny way, so I didn't go. And then
we had Watergate last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago?
Frank Willis.
Thomas had Frank Willis.
Willis.
Yeah.
Tom, you could have been live tweeting. Ask Frank Willis, been like, I don't know about that tape, guys.
I think that tape.
I saw some tape.
That tape looked
100 likes, and I'll remove the tape.
Man, and then I had Julius getting betrayed by Etu Brute. I feel like could have been like some funny.
Yeah, Julius Caesar.
Sorry,
you're on first name basis for Julius.
You're on a first name basis.
What'd I say?
Julius. You just said
Julius Caesar. Yeah, me and my boy Julius.
I was like, what Julius got betrayed? And no, there's one. There's a
big one. Or Julius. Yeah.
Yeah, that one would be that'd be pretty wild. Also, if they're talking about like the preamble to all of that, where they're like DMing each other, being like, we're doing it today, right? And like one guy's like, no, I don't think we should do it, guys. I don't think we should do it.
I feel like there'd be like a funny like TikTok trend of like people and their best friends being like, oh, I don't know if I trust him. Something around that.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the Whitest Kids You Know YouTube video, Abraham Lincoln, and it's just Julius tweeting, he stabbed me. He stabbed me.
Oh, those guys are good.
Some of the ones I had some personal ones, like 1996 to 2000, when I had an N64, but I couldn't beat games, so I would need social media for people to help me how to beat games, like Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie. Like I don't
love the idea of 4-year-old, 3-year-old you on social media tweeting at strangers. Well, like, I'm gonna come out and say
I would have been like 6 or 7 when I was tweeting.
You just gotta convince your parents to get one of those those like paper manuals of video games back then.
Strategy guides.
Yeah, strategy guides.
I also had like
paper manuals.
Same kind of time frame, but so that people would see all my first day of school pics because I was a really cute kid. So I think that would have been pretty cool.
That is a very personal
the world needed to see that.
And then I did have, and there was social media around for some of this, middle school. Andrew and I used to spend a lot of time on a trampoline. And were we good? No. But did we think we were? Also, no. But, man, we would have posted some sweet videos.
I couldn't disagree more with this pick. I'm glad that footage is not footage.
Non-existent.
We were lucky. I mean, to be honest, we were very lucky that we grew up before the age of smartphones, because you will never, ever again be able to escape your most embarrassing moments.
I'm glad that you went in the direction you went with your actual list, Thomas, because it sounds like your other picks were all just stuff for you, like in your personal life. So you went the right direction. The only other one I had, and I mean, it's not funny. I don't even want to say it because it's not funny, but was the atomic bombs. I'm going to say it. And I think the only thing to note there would be, I feel like the entire world would just be tweeting like, oh, fuck, we're all going to die now.
Fuck, oh shit, we're so good.
This is so bad. Yeah.
I thought about the of Hiroshima and Nagasaki as well. It was more like, what was the post reaction going to be? Like, what's the SVP late at night? Like, everybody's talking about it. What's that going to be like? And there's also, of course, a Sports Center going on during
this. Yeah, you tune into Sports Center to see what the news would be on that.
I'm not going to tweet and not watch Sports Center. I don't know what you want from me.
It would be like SVP's bad beats. It'd be like like the bomb dropped a minute too early and the under
I had the same guy.
Yeah, they were going to cover. We just didn't catch him in time.
You just
I had the murder of the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, the jumping off point for World War One. And probably like a bunch of dudes being like, no war. We're not going to have a war. Guys, no war. And just seeing that spiral out from there, that would have been fun. And then whoever the first guy to call it World War One, I want that to be, even though obviously it wasn't until World War II happened, just the idea of somebody being like, yeah, so during World War One, someone else being like, what do you mean World War One?
I like the idea of them saying no war, and then the people that were pro-war being like, you know what? Now I'm going to have an even bigger war because you said that.
Now I'm going to get all my friends into this war.
I'm going to have 2 wars.
2 wars?
2 wars? Well, you talking about the atomic bomb made me think of Pompeii. I feel like maybe like people live tweeting that, like when it, like being like, oh, it'll probably be fine. It looks like it might not be fine, and then.
Guys, I don't think it's going to be fine. No, man, you're overreacting. It's going to be, we're just going to stop the spread and we're going to be done with this in 2 weeks.
Don't worry about it.
I feel like it would just be a bunch of tweets that were half finished and then.
Yeah. Never made it out.
Good Instagram pics, though.
This is a tough episode. I think we pissed off everyone.
Yeah, we pissed off the people that died in the explosion of Pompeii 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that Mount Vesuvius? Is that what that one is?
Yeah.
I think so, right? That's the name of the actual volcano?
Yeah.
Sounds right to me. All right. Anything else?
No, good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. We'll be back next week. Make sure if you are not subscribed to List Night on YouTube, please do so. If you're not following us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever your preferred podcast platform is, make sure you do so as well. Rate and review, comment below. Give us your own list. We love to see what everybody else would have picked if they were on this episode. If you have any suggestions for lists, we'll always take them. I'm not promising that we will do them, but we will always, at the very least, read them. And we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same station, same great List Night. See you next time.